right, guys, today we are going to divide fractions by fractions. And if you remember, what we learned is that you are not actually allowed to divide fractions. Instead, you have to keep, change, and flip. You have to change your division problem into a multiplication problem. So you do that by keeping the first fraction exactly the same, changing that division to multiplication, and flipping the second fraction to its reciprocal. So you flip it upside down. Then it's business as usual, goes straight across. I shall get 10 straight across. I get 8. Now, when you look at 10 over 8, it is top heavy. The top is way bigger than the bottom. So I'm going to think to myself, how many times can 8 go into 10? 8 goes into 10 one time. What's left over when I take 8 from 10 is 2. And I'm not messing with my denominator. I'm keeping it the same. I basically just did that long division in my head. But if you look at this answer, it's not done yet because 2 and 8 are both even. That means they can be simplified further because I can divide both top and bottom by 2. So when I do that, I get to keep my whole number, my 1. It's not affected. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bada bing, bada boom, it is done. So let's practice this skill over here. So once again, you notice this division. So we are going to keep, change, flip. And I'm going to show you a trick on this one. So watch. All right. So I'm going to keep the first fraction. It is 6/7. I am going to change this to multiplication. And I am going to flip the second fraction upside down. Now, there is something really cool that happens when you look at a diagonal. A diagonal is something that is tilted. When I look at this diagonal right here, do you see how they match? When they match, you can cross them out. It's called simplifying before you multiply, okay? Pre-simplifying. So when I mark this 7 out and this 7 out, I am left with just a 6 over a 3, okay? Remember, you can only do that when the diagonal matches exactly. 6 over 3, there's a couple ways to simplify this, but I know 3 goes into both of them. So I'm going to divide them both by 3, and I am going to get a 2 on top and a 1 on bottom. So this answer is 2 wholes. You would have gotten the same answer if you had multiplied straight across. You would have just had a lot more simplifying to do at the end. Last example. So we have 3/10. So here's my 3. I'm going to keep my 10 because this is the fraction I keep. I have to change it to multiplication, and then I need to flip. So I'm going to flip this fraction upside down. Your brain should notice something. What does your brain notice? The diagonals match. Let's get rid of those, okay? So I am left with a 5 on the top and a 10 on the bottom. What goes into both of those? Well, 5 goes into both of those. If you divide the top and the bottom both by 5, you end up with a simplified answer of 1/2. So to recap, when you want to divide a fraction by a fraction, you can't. You have to change the problem into multiplication by keeping the first fraction, changing it to multiplication, and flipping the second fraction to its reciprocal. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom.